Hello everyone, welcome to Willow Springs. Now, first thing before I say anything else, if you voted for this track, you'd better be racing it this week. That's all I'm gonna say. Just kidding, obviously, kind of. I hope we get some participation this week. Obviously, it's been a bit dry during the week, but hopefully on Friday we can get some people in our broadcast race at least. But really cool, unique track, so I was really happy to see it get picked ahead of the other two options that I put, which I never expected it to be honest. So yeah, let's hopefully have some fun racing this track this weekend. I'm just going to do this track guide, just to talk about reference points, basically, because the challenge of this track is finding your references for braking and turning and all of that. So let's just go through it step by step. This was a qualifying lap in an AI session, and there are the conditions. Worth taking note of the wind, so it's blowing in from the west, so it's blowing in from over here and blowing across the track, so back against the main straight and along this straight here with turn 7 towards the end. So yeah, worth taking note of that. It affects your braking points to a decent degree. So turn 1 then, let's go through it turn by turn. I'll go to cockpit view because it shows what we're really seeing as a driver. So first we've got this this patch here, and then you've got a little bit of a variation in the white line, and then another dark patch here. So I like to use this as my reference, and I'm braking a bit before that. So just coming along here, I'm keeping my eye on those dark patches and braking after that one and before this one. Then start turning in. Need to turn in quite early for this one because of how bumpy the track is. It likes to push your car out. So you need to turn in maybe earlier than you would normally expect. Such a bumpy track, this one. And then pushing out to the exit here. Then coming to the left for turn 2. I like to turn in early because it just helps me get my bearings and then brake a bit mid-corner and then come back for like a double apex. But you could also kind of open up the entry a bit and take a wider line going in. I think that might be faster as well, and maybe you don't have to brake so much mid-corner like I'm doing here if you do it that way. So whichever way suits you really, but for me, just helps to come in early and then I know where I am exactly. And then we can get a flat out exit, come tight here, then push out to the left. I'm coming to the, oh my god, I'll stop doing that. Clicking the wrong button. Coming to the right hand side. So I like to time my movement to the right hand side so that I end up meeting the track at this point where there's a little dip here, and then I know that this is my braking point where the track dips down. And so I like to come over to the right hand side so that as soon as I come over to the right, I'm in this dip and I know exactly where I'm going to be braking. Then nicely smoothly coming off the brake down to 3rd gear and a bit of a late apex with this one, and you can get quite close to this curve on the left hand side. So let's come to the right, brake in the dip and then late apex. Then you can push the exit and come inside for the apex here, and again you've got a bit of a double apex. I like that I've got the corner numbers here now on this little track map. So just pushing, we can push out wide from turn 3, and then, oh that's surprising, this is turn 4 is both of these. So first apex of turn 4, coming inside, pushing out a bit, and then doing a little bit of braking and getting the second apex here, where we can get really close to the white line, and then once again push the throttle out to the exit, and I even dipped my tyres in the gravel here. So push out 3rd gear all the way. And for turn 5 and 6, so just coming down to this curve here, and that's our braking point, and then trail braking down to 3rd gear, getting the car nice and tight here so that we don't understeer too much on the exit here, and then get under throttle right away because of the compression you have here, gives you a lot of grip. Then flat out here, just have to deal with the rear end stepping out a little bit. And then turn 8, I just like to come tight all the way down to the inside, And then as soon as we get to this one here, then we start going outside to the left. And then obviously we've got the nice long turn 9. So yep, I like to come inside and start pushing out. And then my reference is kind of where the track, again, we're just looking at the bends in the white line and just getting familiar with those, so I know that when I'm at this point I have to start turning in. And then here, actually the rubbered in racing line is my reference all the way around here for how tight I need to be coming around here. Obviously it's a turn where you need to start turning in early, but you obviously need to leave your apex very late in the turn. So yeah, I'm out here using this as my reference when to start turning in a bit, and then very gentle trail braking, and then just looking at this rubbered in line, and that will be my reference for where I need to be. And then obviously you want to then apex where the track dips down here. And then yeah, push onto the final straight. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, fun little track. Yeah, really hope we get a good race, because it's really cool to come to a different kind of track every now and then, I think. And it's just a very iconic track for me, although I used to play it in Gran Turismo, so that might be why. I bet it's a track that many people are completely unfamiliar with. Yeah, so that's all from me. Let me know any thoughts, and see you on the track, and see you next time.